So I am here with Ray Arnold, one of the founding duo of the Real Car Company in Bangor. And I'm very excited to have him here because we've got a very exciting tour ahead of us. Is that right, Ray?
Well, I hope it's exciting. I'll do my best to make it that way. I'm going to start off here. This is our office where there's normally a hive of activity, but we're closed down now due to the coronavirus. So I'm here on my own today. But you can see, I'll give you another view of the office actually. So you can see, this is where we are. This is our
wow.
hub.
There's a lot of light coming in. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I've opened everything up today before this, so that you can see, get some daylight in. It helps. We built this office in 1997, I think it was, which doesn't seem that long ago, but we did so and tried to keep it in keeping with the buildings here as well. I'll show you more of in a minute, obviously.
You were founded very close to when we were. It was 1987, I believe. Is that right?
That's spot on, yeah. It is.
Yeah, you beat us. We were 1988.
Aha! We got one over on you then.
You have.
So, yeah, and we still love what we're doing. Been doing it all that time.
And how did you come about to set up? What was your history?
Well, I met up with Ian, my business partner here. I ran an exhaust centre in Bangor here, fitting exhaust systems, and at the time just dabbling in the cars of the type we handle now occasionally. And Ian came along, had similar interest to me, bought a Derby Bentley, and really it developed from there. We developed a friendship. He came to work for us at the exhaust centre for a while, and then we got to a point where we felt we could quite easily make a full-time business of it. Just switch back to myself. So that was in 86. He came to work for us. 87, we set up this company, ran it alongside the exhaust centre for a little while, and then decided we could make a go of it, and became a full-time business shortly afterwards. Still doing it, still loving it.
Well, you obviously get on very well. It's been a long history and a very successful company.
Yeah, we do get on well. Yeah, we're from pretty different backgrounds, but we seem to work well together, which is great. Complement each other, I think. Right, I'm going to walk through to where some of the cars are, at least, to give you an idea. So the first car we come to is a 1932 Phantom Two Continental with a Mulliner two-seater open sports body, which we acquired from the widow of an owner who had had the car since 1959. And we do love to get long-term ownership cars with history. This one has got a great history. So 1959, they bought it. And in 1969, it was on the maiden voyage of the QE2 from Southampton to New York, which is a fame for it. But there's a lot more history to it as well. So it's a wonderful thing.
I love how each of these cars actually have a story. That's the difference, isn't it, with Rolls and Bentley?
Yeah, absolutely. They're all individual cars. They all have a story to tell, sometimes more fascinating than others, but we love going into the backgrounds of them. And you might have seen on our website what we call snippets that Sue here does, which are, this is a summary of the history and the background and sometimes the families of the earlier owners. So yeah, our website, which is realcar.co.uk, if you fancy having a look at it. Yeah. Couple of 2025s here. That one's a Barker Sedanca de Ville, and then a Thrupp and Maberley three-position drop head. Look at the back end here of two Derby Bentleys, both 4 1/4. This one being a Hooper overdrive model, which is the most desirable most people think so, including me. Quite a few Derby Bentleys here at the minute, including some open ones, which I'll show you in a minute.
The cars that you have in your collection, is there a specific year range that you stick to, or what's kind of your decision making for whichever cars that you take on?
Yeah, it's mostly from the 1920s through to the mid-60s.
Okay.
That's the period we specialise in, particularly like the pre-war ones, but some of the early post-war as well.
Okay.
but we sometimes have later ones when we take them in part exchanges, so
Okay.
they can be relatively modern. But you know, something like the 90s or 2000s is modern by our standards, and we don't have those very often.
Do you have a lot of customers that kind of have been with you for a long time and continue to kind of recycle their collection, or you know, they continue to add to it?
Very much so, yeah.
Okay.
We've got a lot of long-term regular customers, some of whom have a collection, others maybe just have one or two cars, but like to change them to experience different makes and models. And that works well for all concerned. You know, we take the cars back, and they normally don't lose much money on them, and then they get to experience something different.
And which is your favorite car that you've got there in the shop at the moment?
Well, I was going to show you, the first one I showed you was an open Phantom 2. By the way, this is the work area. We've got 3 lifts. I hope you can see those okay. And this is all just as everything was left when we had to close down due to the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
That was 3 weeks ago now. We just locked up one night, went home, and then were told we had to close. So we didn't come in the next day. So this is just as we left it.
Right.
but anyway, yeah, I wanted to show you this. This is another Phantom 2 Continental. Hope you can see.
Yeah.
Worked on. You turn it sideways. Is that better? That's a lovely, really elegant sports saloon, which we imported from Japan. And it's shortly going out to Germany once the car's finished and everything resumes. Everything's back to normal transport-wise. So that's something we particularly like, that one.
That is beautiful.
Mm.
Very beautiful. So do you often already have the cars and already know who you'll be selling them to before you do any work on them?
Before we do work on them, yeah, but we very rarely buy cars in with a particular client in mind. We don't find that works very well. So we buy what we find available, cars that we enjoy and at the right prices. That seems to work well all around too.
And then how much work and restoration would you do on a car typically?
Oh, everyone's different. Sometimes absolutely nothing. In fact, we love to get the barn find cars in, covered in dust and cobwebs, and leave them just as they are. And that seems to work really well. Customers love them like that. We get more of a kick out of those than the pristine ones.
I don't see any barn finds in there at the moment. Are they hidden somewhere else, or are they just already?
Not really anything in that category just now, which is a shame. Because, you know, they come along when they come along, and we can't dictate when that might be. Anyway, I'll continue walking around here. There's a MGTC. Oh, the sunlight's coming in. Can you see that?
Yep, absolutely. Lovely red.
MGTC half covered up. That was a part exchange we took in. We've got a very special Jaguar, one-off special fiberglass bodied, fabulous quality, which is based on a 1989 XJS. That, again, is not the sort of thing we'd normally have in, but it's quite fun to have something different occasionally. We've got an early Derby Bentley.
That's beautiful.
Darker 2-door drop head. It's a lovely design with a sculpted scuttle and louvered bonnet and scuttle. It's really, really elegant car.
Yeah, that's stunning. I would definitely test drive that one.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're only a few hours away.
Yeah, I think as soon as this shelter in place is lifted, we'll all be jumping on the first aircraft.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a silver Wraith there and a silver Cloud 3.
Mm-hmm.
What have we got at the back here? A very tall Park Ward 2025, very formal body, special order. I think probably somebody who wore a top hat, most likely. This is my own, got an XK140 drop head. That's my own car under there. I'll get to that one day.
I was going to say, it's hidden from us. It's hidden.
Yeah, it's hidden. Yeah. You can see that another time. Another 2025 3-position drop head again, Throp and Mabley once again.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And how many cars do you normally have? Around 40, is it? Am I right in saying
yeah,
that?
it's generally about 40 overall. Yeah, it fluctuates, of course. And we've got, as well as these buildings here, we've got a unit on the industrial estate next door where we tend to put the sold cars before they're delivered.
Mm-hmm.
That works well for us. So we're quite tight on space here sometimes. I was going to say this is a 2-story building, so we've got a huge room full of spares up there. I won't take you up there now, but there's an awful lot of stuff up there.
Okay. So you actually hold stock as well, part stock?
Yeah, we do. A lot of it is second-hand, as and when we come across it, but we have stock of new parts as well.
And the grills on the wall, are they decoration or is that just excess parts storage?
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's one there as well, but through here, yeah, they're just for decoration. They're not in great condition.
It's brilliant decoration. I love it. It's retro art.
Yeah. By the way, you can see some of the structure of the buildings here, look.
Uh-huh.
And these fabulous buildings, they were part of the Penryn Quarry Empire, the slate quarry, which is just down the road from us, and built in the 1880s, and seem to, I don't know, they suit the character of the cars, and fabulously built, and we've done a lot of renovation over the years, and very pleased with it. Right, and just go through to the other room we haven't been into yet.
Do you ever get nervous moving these cars around and parking them when you're, when you're
Not
organized?
really.
Because I would get so nervous.
I don't feel like that about it. I don't really know why, but I'm pleased I don't. In fact, I was moving a couple of them around before you contacted us, just to make the layout a little bit better.
I just love the nonchalance, though, of just, being able to, move them around, park them and not worry about it. I wish I could.
Well, I know, and it's interesting sometimes. You're whizzing down a country lane in a car worth £200,000 or £300,000, and you just don't really think of it that way, or I don't. And I think I probably have to switch that side off, otherwise it would make you nervous and you wouldn't enjoy driving it. That's another Derby. We've got, as I say, several Derby open cars here at the minute.
Beautiful.
This one, there's a 3-litre Bentley there, one of the Cricklewood vintage cars, which is an original body, all matching numbers. So it's a completely original car, which is very unusual, actually. That's a Gurney nutting body, that one. And then this is an extension which we put on nearly 20 years ago now, to house more cars, more open Derbys. These two are both replicas of Van den Vaar design, both lovely, both fairly recently done.
It's not a bad view, is it?
No, you're right. We're very lucky to be surrounded by these.
Very lucky.
2025 Park Ward 2-door, 1929, a very early one. A 2530 drop head. Another 2530 with a 4-door cabriolet body, which is rare. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it would take too long. A Kellner-bodied pillarless Derby Bentley, and a 1920 Silver Ghost with a replica Tourer body on. That is a walk round of just about all the cars that are here at the moment.
That's incredible. When you get a new customer in, do you find that talking to them will help you figure out what car they might want, or is it literally a question of taking them around and seeing what they fall in love with at first sight?
Some people have pretty fixed ideas, and others come to see us because they don't know what they want, and just having a walk round and chatting to us can help with that. So it varies. There's no real standard format or standard pattern. People have different ideas, but it's quite often that someone comes along to learn about the cars, get an idea of what they want, go away, have a think, and come back again. And that's, we're happy to do that, and it works nicely for the customers.
And how much do you sell online versus in person? Because you presumably are able to do virtual tours of the cars and provide a lot of information.
We are. We don't do a great deal of that, to be honest, but we do sell an awful lot of cars unseen nowadays, because of the wonders of the internet and the technology which allows it. Also, regular customers get to know us. And so they understand our descriptions and don't feel they necessarily need to come and see the cars.
Mm-hmm.
That works quite well. I'm just giving you a little look at the outside of the premises here now. A nice sunny day here. So you can see the historic buildings.
They are
That's one we built nearly 20 years ago, and we've faced it with slate to match the rest of the buildings. And if I swing around this way, that on the left-hand side is the office where we started.
Oh, right.
Again, we've faced that with slate as well. So, yeah, lovely old buildings. Wouldn't really like to be in a modern steel frame structure. Doesn't suit the cars.
You're absolutely right. They're in a very comfortable home there.
Yeah, they feel at home. Yeah, they talk to us sometimes.
So Ray, tell me, what is this is an opportunity for you to tell us what makes the Real Car Company special?
I think we're pretty much the only company doing exactly what we do in terms of the range of models and the years we specialize in. There are plenty of other companies that overlap with us, but we've got a niche market really.
Mm-hmm.
And we've always believed in dealing in the cars that we enjoy rather than just doing it for commercial reasons. It all came from being a hobby. I always call it a hobby that got out of hand in a very nice sort of way. So I think really people understand that we genuinely are enthusiasts. I like to think that rubs off, and then people appreciate that that's the case and like to come to us for that reason. And it really is the case. We do it because we love it.
Mm-hmm. So many people in this industry are like that, aren't they? It's a very unique industry in that way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The love of the car.
think most companies have their own, unique selling point one way or another. But I think ours is just that, as I say, the models we specialize in, the fact that we are real enthusiasts, and that's really what's behind it, I would say.
So I've got one last question, if that's okay. Which car, if I were to be there right now or say to you, I'm going to buy something online, which car is your the one that you're like, how is this not sold yet? How is this one not sold?
Oh, you put me on the spot a bit there.
For me,
I suppose actually, to be honest, the first one I showed you, because that is something very special. That Phantom 2. We're not quite sure about the colour. It's been that colour for a long, long time, but we wonder if it'd look nicer in a deeper shade, maybe. But it is a great car. It drives well. We fitted a new cylinder head, and it's got an awful lot going for it, with a great history, as I say. So in a way, that's perhaps the one that does surprise me the most. We get a car in sometimes and we think, wow, that's a great buy, that's going to fly out the door. And then a year later, it's still with us. And then vice versa. We might buy something in and wonder if we've done the right thing, and it sells immediately.
Yeah.
And it's an impossible thing to calculate.
Well, Ray, I really hope that you guys are back up and running, as soon as possible. And in the meantime, all your cars and all their history is on your website.
It is, yeah, which is realcar.co.uk. Yeah, lovely. The other thing, you can also look at our YouTube channel. If you just search Real Car Co. We've got quite a few videos on there of the individual cars being driven around the country lanes here. And they seem to be popular, and they can reveal quite a lot about the cars as well. So that's worth a look.
Oh, definitely. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really enjoyed that.
No, it's great. Good. Thank you as well. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Nice to see a friendly face that I've known of for decades.
Oh, great. That's nice to hear. I look forward to seeing you, whenever. Next time
the next show.
Next year at the annual. Yeah.
I hope so. Right. Okay, in the meantime, keep well.
Thanks a lot. Look after yourself,
You
and
too.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.